Hi 8th grade. So I had this video already recorded in one of the classes, but after watching it I realized that the sound didn't match up. So I'm going to re-record this lesson, and I need you to take out your notebook and take notes on everything we talk about, okay? Now after this lesson you are going to have a worksheet as homework, and I'll talk at the end of the lesson how I want you to do your homework, okay? Alright, so the first thing I need you to do is open your book. I want you to go to page 166. And you don't need to copy down this table as long as you're following along with me. If there is one that I want you to write down because it's kind of like, different, then I will put a little star next to it, okay? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to fill out this graph. It wants us to tell us what the slope is in this category, and it wants us to tell us what the y-axis intercept is. Okay? So remember, we have y equals mx plus b. M is the slope, b is the y-intercept. So looking at A, I can tell that 1, positive 1, is my point of intersection with the y-axis, so I'm going to say 1. And then my slope, keep that negative sign with it, is negative 1/2. Okay, so let's keep going. Number 2, or B. The slope is, there's no number, right? If there is no number, there's always a 1. What is negative 1 as a fraction? Negative 1/1. Not both of them will be negative, okay? And then the point of intersection of the y-axis is 2. Okay, now be careful on C. Maybe write C down in your notebook. The reason why I want you to be careful is because what is the y-intercept? It's not 2. It's negative 2. And then the slope is negative 1/1 again. D, y-intercept is 1. Slope is 1/2. That one was easy. E, another easy one. Y-intercept is 2. Slope is 1/1. F, remember, y-intercept is not 2, it is negative 2. And then easy again. Slope is just 1/1. Okay. G, negative 1, and then 1/2, negative 1, negative 1/2, 2. Ooh, how about this one? Maybe write this one in your notes. If there's just a number, you have to make it into a fraction. So the slope is 3/1. Okay, same things, 3/1 right here, and then this is negative 2. Alright, so in your notes, even if you just did C and I, just because they're a little different, just to remind yourself of how to do those, that'd be great. We're going to move on. Turn the page. Turn the page to 168. Alright, so in this chapter, we're talking about y-intercepts and x-intercepts. Now, a line, if it's going through the y-intercept, shouldn't it also go through the x-intercept? For example, if I had a line like this and I extended it, eventually it'd go through the x-intercept. So we do have a y-intercept and we do have an x-intercept. It's where they hit the axes, okay? So we'll talk more about that. The y-intercept will be y equals whatever number, and then the x-intercept will be the x equals whatever number, okay? Alright, we all know this equation. If you do not have this equation memorized, you need to memorize it. Y equals mx plus b. Okay, let's do number 1 in your notes together. Go grab my little pencil. Okay. Find the slope and the y-intercept of the graph of each linear equation. So they're not asking us to graph it yet. They're just asking us to find the slope and the y-intercept, just like what we did before. Y-intercept is negative 2. The slope is negative 4, but we like slope as a fraction. So the slope is negative 4/1. Easy. Now, that's really nice, and I can tell that this equation, I'm going to erase my markings for a second. This equation is in slope-intercept form. If it's in slope-intercept form, it will look like that, y equals mx plus b. And it does. Look, y equals mx plus your b. Perfect. Now sometimes we're not that lucky. Sometimes they give us an equation like this, y minus 5 equals 3 over 2x. It's not in slope-intercept form, and I have to make it slope-intercept form to be able to solve it. Now to do that, I need to get y all by itself. What is happening to y? It's being added by 5. So to get y by itself, the easiest thing to do would be to add 5 to both sides. Now if I do that, that goes away, and I'm left with this equation, y equals 3 halves x plus 5. And now it's in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Okay, so sometimes they give it to you in slope-intercept form. They're so nice. Other times, you need to fix it so that it is in slope-intercept form. Okay, so number 1 and number 2, please write these in your notes. Find the slope in the y-intercept. Now number 1's super easy. That is in slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. So the slope is equal to 3 over 1. The y-intercept is equal to negative 7. That's super easy. They just gave it to us. But if you look at number 2, which is the one I really want you guys to take notes on, that's not slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form has the y by itself. So how can I get y by itself? I add 1 to both sides. Okay, now that would cancel out. I'm left with y equals negative 2/3 x plus 1. Now is it in slope-intercept form? It is. So now I can tell you what the slope is. Slope is negative 2/3. And I can tell you what the y-intercept is. The y-intercept is 1. Okay? I need you to remember, you have to change these ones into slope-intercept form. You can't just start guessing, okay? Change them first, then tell me what the slope is. Okay. Number 2, example number 2 on page 169, it looks like it's pretty easy. What they want you to do is identify the x-intercept, though. So they give you this equation, but they say, what is the x-intercept? Now guys, y equals mx plus b, there is no x-intercept in that, that's the y-intercept. But what you could do is you can graph it, okay? When you graph this, you would start at 3 on the y, and that's what they did. Started at 3, and then the slope is negative 3 over 1, which means down 3 over 1. So they went down 3, 1, 2, 3, over 1. And as soon as you find where it hits that x-axis, that's what the x-intercept is. What is this point? This point is over 1 up 0. Right there, that guy. So the line crosses the x-axis at 1, 0. So if they give you a y equals mx plus b equation, you can go find the x-intercept as well. Okay? Okay. I guess the nice way to do is you don't have to say 1, 0. You could just say x-intercept is 1. Okay? Because it is. It's crossing at 1 on the x, right? Okay. Let's go down to 3 and 4. 3 and 4 says graph the linear equation and then find me the x-intercept. It says using a graphing calculator to check your answer. We're not going to do that, or we're just going to graph it ourselves, okay? All right, first thing you need to do on 3, hope you're writing these down. Please write 3 and 4 in your notebook. First thing you need to do is you need to tell me what the slope and the y-intercept are. The y-intercept is negative 4. The slope is 1 over 1. So I'm just going to sketch this, okay? It's not going to be perfect. Sketch it in your notes as well. So if I start at my y-intercept, I go down 4. and I said my slope is up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. So I'm going to go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Like I said, sketch is not perfect, but the reason why I did so many up 1 over 1s, up 1 over 1s, up 1 over 1s is because I need to find the x-intercept. Where does it hit the x? It hits the x at 4. So number 3, I would say the x-intercept, you can write enter if you want, is equal to 4. Okay? Remember, if I'm going too fast, you can always pause the video. Number 4, what is the x-intercept? So let's go ahead and graph it. I'm going to make a tiny graph. That didn't work. What is my y-intercept? 1, so I'm going to go up 1. My slope is down 1 over 2, so I'm going to go down 1 over 2. Well, that was super easy. I already hit the x. So my x-intercept is equal to 2. Super easy. Okay, we'll skip number 5. Make sure you have 3 and 4 in your notes. All right, and I'm on page 170. Now, we're going to stop here, but your homework is not going to be these practice problems that we usually do, okay? Your homework is going to be on a worksheet that I'm going to add along on the Google Classroom, okay? How I want you to do your worksheet is I want you to either print it if you're at home, if you have that capability, or I want you to write them down on a separate sheet of notebook paper. I want you to write and show all of your work, and then I need you to upload it to the Google Classroom. Remember, you hit that little add or create button. You can upload it as a picture, or if that's too complicated for you, which it shouldn't be because it's pretty easy, you can always insert it as a picture in a Google Doc and then upload that Google Doc. But I have no worries that you guys will figure that out. Okay, so do the worksheet, fill out these notes, scan your homework from your worksheet, upload that. That is all due by Tuesday, just like a normal school day, okay? If it gets turned in later, it'll be minus 2 points for every day it's late. Alright guys, that's it for today's lesson. Tuesday, we will have another lesson, and it's basically just going to be us going over this page right here, 170. Alright, see you later.